Hi there, welcome to Tarot Land Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Pisces energy, and like usual, we're going to do 2 rows. We're using the Kipper deck this time, and we'll get some clarifiers on it. But we do the 2 rows in this channel because it's just to see how different people could be harnessing their Pisces energy. Some people harness high vibe Pisces energy. They love and believe in themselves and believe in their dreams. They've shed some layers of their fear, their insecurity, their pride, their ego, their, more worldly view of life to believe that they can manifest their dreams into reality, and it's built on a foundation of love. And some people haven't done that yet, and they still have some lessons to learn. They could either just be caught up in the illusion of the world and think if they have all the money and the status and the image that automatically makes them happy. But we read about people in the news all the time that are miserable and sad because they have all the things of the world, but they don't have meaningful connections in their life. Some people haven't learned that lesson yet. Some people that are in shadowy energy could be people who are more aligned with their fear, their insecurity, and their past pain and heartbreak, and they're making decisions based on those things because they haven't healed yet from it. And if we haven't healed from that past wound, we will kind of keep repeating that same pattern until we learn to love and believe in ourselves. And then we could have people that are just really shadowy and they're kind of manipulative and self-centered and selfish and greedy, and it's all about themselves, and they want to be in relationships where people indulge them being that way, and they have some lessons to learn, but they probably would never really change unless they had some really major disruption in their life. We all have our views of life, that kind of get imprinted upon us growing up. So, in the top row, we have the wealthy man, and the men in tarot can just mean masculine energy, and it can be how we present ourselves in the world, and we all present ourselves in kind of masculine energy because our emotional, intuitive nature is kind of our hidden realm that people in the world don't see. So, this can just be people who are very abundant and stable and grounded and, loving and nurturing within themselves in high vibe. And it kind of reminds me of the King of Pentacles. And the reason for the reading is the poverty card. You could know some people who present themselves to the world as being very stable and grounded and mature, like as if they would be a good family member or parent, but they really could be someone who has a lack mentality. This is, the masculine in tarot can also, like I say, how we present ourselves to the world. Well, sometimes people can present a good facade, and it's really acting more from ego. And some of you could have been in a relationship or a marriage with someone, and things changed maybe when they came into money or status or something. And that's when you could have seen the truth that they do kind of operate a lot more from a worldly view of life. And you could have found out that that's what drives and motivates them. And then we have this card not showing itself, which could be things you rejected from your life, things you're not showing people. And it's message of concern. If you know some people in your life that operate more from their pride and ego because maybe they haven't learned to love themselves and believe in themselves, you might be concerned about them because you could see that they've changed and they've really, the sudden wealth could be, it could be money, but it could be fame. It could be, sudden wealth can be really indulging in things of the world. And they don't realize that getting so invested in those things of the world that they indulge them might leave them to poverty. If not financially, maybe spiritually and emotionally. And if you are someone who harnesses these energies in a high vibe way, where if you had your fears, your insecurities, your self limiting beliefs, your past pain and heartbreak, you did do the work to invest in growing and maturing yourself. And while you changed and truly did become abundant, and we can be abundant in lots of ways. You know, if we're abundant within ourselves, our cup of love kind of overflows. We're very giving, loving, supportive, encouraging. You could have been loving and encouraging before, but had you really loved yourself? Had you invested in yourself? Or was your sense of loving being loving to other people, but really you could have been neglecting yourself? I think what this is saying is that while you could have changed your lack mindset and become very abundant, other people that you might know or just other people in the world harness this energy in a more shadowy way. And I think if you used to be concerned about them, you're maybe not concerned about them anymore. And they also might not be concerned about you. You know, because the Five of Pentacles, this card reminds me of the Five of Pentacles, and that is Taurus energy, which is based on our underlying philosophy of life that dictates the decisions we make in our life. High vibe people are detaching from old ways of being and they're growing and maturing themselves. And other people might have changed because they came into things of the world that made them feel like they had it all going on. And because of that, they maybe didn't have any concern about the people in their life that they could have left out in the cold because they didn't think, they thought these things of the world were more valuable. And that's when you saw the truth of what really motivated and inspired them in life. And it maybe wasn't love, it was money and status and image. And because you see the truth of it, you know, it's kind of like just letting them go and live their life. They're going to live their life the way they want to live their life anyway, right? And you're no longer concerned. Um, and some of those people who maybe did go on in their life, we're going to find out about them in the shadowy energy, who didn't have any concern about leaving you out in the cold. Now they might be concerned about the fact that they left you out in the cold because they could have thought that if they went and lived their life this way, that you would feel left out in the cold. And that way, if they wanted to treat you like an option and come back and get in a relationship with you later, they could because you'd feel left out in the cold. But when someone left you out in the cold, you did this work within yourself to grow and mature yourself. And now they see that you're no longer concerned about them. So you're no longer an option for them to come back to. And whatever it is they left you for, which we're going to read in a minute, might didn't turn out like they planned because we reap what we sow. And if they're kind of selfish or greedy or self-centered or materialistic, they could have went and gotten relationships with other people who are that way. And they got relationships that weren't based on love. And now they could feel left out in the cold, wishing they could be in relationships with people who are loving and nurturing and supportive. But those people have moved on. The Five of Pentacles talks about detaching from an old foundation that you had been holding on to, and you've let it go. You've learned the lesson you were meant to learn from that, that everybody has free will. People choose to be open and honest and loving in a relationship, or they choose not to be, in which case they might be an unkind, unloving person. And in addition to that, they might be someone who likes to try to manipulate people to get what they want, thinking, if I do leave you out in the cold, then if I ever want to come back, I can indulge myself in a relationship with you again. And it's like, not today, Satan. So let's go look at the bottom row. In the bottom row, we have some people that are giving thought to maybe if they should grow up. Or, and again, this could be male or female. They're just in their ego, is what I would say, in shadowy energy, because we have the free will choice to align with our more loving, hopeful, believing nature, or we align with our ego, thinking we know better. I don't have to do love. I get hurt doing that. I think I'll just operate from pride and ego. And the masculine energy is us taking action in the world, and we could be letting our worldly nature run our life. which is our more egoic nature. Or they're getting concerned about when they get older. It's one thing for people to go indulge and play in the world, but then when they start to think about when they're older, are they going to have the people in their life that they want? Then we have the message of concern and the community card. And the reason for the reading is imprisonment. They might be realizing as they get older that, the very people in their life that they aligned with are the very people who keep them kind of enslaved, because our shadow worldly nature in tarot, the devil kind of represents the world. And if we listen to our fear, our insecurity, our more immature, self-centered way of being, we could initially think in our pride and ego, that's going to bring us a lot of people to work with in our life. But who are the people we're aligning with? Are they other people in the world who are enslaved to pride and ego and fear and insecurity and addiction and self-centeredness? And some people could have gotten themselves into some relationships with people that now they feel trapped. For some. For other people, they could have just gotten in a relationship with people who over time, some people could be high vibe people. They're the ones trying to nurture, because the King and Queen of Pentacles is the married suit of the deck. It doesn't mean they have to be married, but they could be in relationships where they're trying to get people to see the true abundance. But the people in their life don't seem concerned, and they could be feeling in lack right now. And they're kind of maybe realizing, do I want to be trapped with these people? These people are in shadowy energy. And again, shadowy energy can be people who are, if they harness this energy in shadow, they're much more worldly focused, all about ego and image and money and materialism, And it's like, do I want to keep working with these people? As time goes by, I might feel like I'm trapped with them. Am I going to live in my shadow nature? Am I going to stay in relationship with them? Because I'd have to realize I had some lessons to learn, or realize this was a life experience for me to gain lessons from. Or in my pride and ego, am I unwilling to acknowledge that I might have made a mistake? And I'm just going to stay in it, maybe because of money and materialism and status and image. People have to decide, am I willing to change? Am I willing not to let wealth or things of the world stop me from seeing the truth that maybe there's some things here I should be concerned about? But in order for some people maybe to move forward in their life and choose love, they might have to detach from a foundation that they could be attached to that, maybe by worldly standards would look like they've got it all. And they'd have to be willing, do I stay someplace where I feel imprisoned, like a job, that isn't encouraging or supportive, but it gives me money, it gives me the stability I want? Do I want to stay in a job I don't like? I'm going to stay in a career I don't like just because of the money and the status, maybe even the people I work with, that I might have affection for them, but am I going to stay in it at the expense of love? The mouse here, that kind of talks about how things eat away at your foundation over time. Sometimes some people can work with people who are kind of not very nurturing and giving, and it erodes your own foundation and your own self-esteem. And we'd have to be willing to detach from those people or that job and be bold and brave to believe that we can manifest our dreams into reality if we detach from that relationship or that way of thinking. Let's go get some clarifiers on it. Tell us about the wealthy man. Okay, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse and the High Priestess. The Seven of Wands is Leo energy, which in the upright talks about people who are creative, inspired, bold, and brave, willing to stand up for themselves. Some people could be willing to do that, but maybe the people they're dealing with aren't willing to stand up for themselves. Maybe they present an illusion in the world of being very stable and grounded and mature and like a family loving person, but really they could hide that maybe they lack confidence. And if you did know someone like that in your life because you listen to your intuition, and again, if they kind of have a lack mentality or they seem to change, that, maybe they did become very prideful and egotistical and defensive. And it's kind of like, you should want to stay in a relationship with me because of the status and the image or how good looking I think I am, male or female. You could have decided, I need to cut this person out of my life because maybe they're full of themselves. And it's like, I need to change. I need to detach. I cannot. This relationship has become unhealthy. And I'm concerned about my future. They seem to be imprisoned. They don't take bold, confident action in their life. They're okay with making their life about this illusion in the world or presenting an illusion to the world. And they maybe never tap into their more loving, creative, intuitive nature. It's like living with someone who presents a facade and wears a false mask all the time. Do I want to be trapped in that illusion with them? They're probably hoping you are, for some of them. For others of them, they think because they came into money or status or image that they're thinking they want to go work with someone else. If you are intuitive, some people who are in shadowy energy don't like that you're intuitive, that they just create an illusion. And they would rather go get in a relationship with someone who feels in lack. Maybe when you took the job or got in the relationship, maybe you were kind of in a downtrodden kind of place in your life, weren't feeling that great about yourself, had some healing to do. But the whole thing is, when you were in that relationship, or that work environment, you use the environment of having stability, having, maybe some peace and groundedness in your life. You use that opportunity to heal, but the other people never did. Their whole plan, maybe of moving forward, was making it more still about money and materialism and status and image. But you do have that spark within you to grow and mature yourself, and they could lack that spark. And the fact that you did learn to heal from your past pain and heartbreak and your self-limiting beliefs, and you were willing to move forward, they were like, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. I'm not willing to defend this relationship anymore because you're intuitive that I don't want to put in creative inspired action in my life. I don't want to grow and mature myself. I already have all these things of the world that people would probably be willing to get in a relationship with me. I'll go find someone who's got some fear and insecurity and doesn't believe in themselves. And maybe that person will work with me. They'll buy into my illusion. Maybe they'd be happy to be in a relationship because I do have this status or image or think I'm good looking. Tell us about the change card. Eight of Pentacles in reverse because of Five of Swords. Again, you could have been in a relationship with someone who wasn't willing to defend this relationship growing and maturing itself. They weren't willing to put in work and effort anymore. Five of Swords, they have mental conflict about that because this is how they like to live their life. I don't want to have to put in work and effort to grow and mature myself. The Virgo Eight of Pentacles energy talks about going within to gain insight and wisdom about why you're emotionally defensive, why you're kind of self-centered, why you're fearful or insecure. And some people are like, I don't want to deal with it. I'm just going to live my life. I've got these things of the world. People will want to be in a relationship with me. I'll go find someone else where I don't have to put in work and effort. And the Five of Swords can be, if they're more shadowy, they're people who harness shadowy Aquarius energy, where it's like, and again, it doesn't matter what zodiac sign they were born under, we all harness these energies, high vibe or low vibe. They also could be someone who kind of likes to be the center of attention in a relationship. I mean, they think they're all that. They might hide it, because the High Priestess can be about hiding, that they really don't take any creative, inspired action in their life to change. They just stay just like this. And secretly, they hide that from the world. Because generally when people get in relationships, you create the illusion, that you're willing to move forward. I mean, we do have a car in this change card. And we do have the sudden wealth. It's kind of like implying I am willing to move forward to grow and mature myself, to grow and mature this relationship. Usually from a place of love. But this person could have been hiding, I don't take creative, inspired action in my life. I kind of have mental conflict about putting in work and effort because I think I have all this. I don't think I should have to. And again, shadowy Aquarius could be people who are very egotistical, very self-centered. I shouldn't have to put in work and effort. That's your job. I have all this. If you want to work with me, then you're supposed to focus on putting work and effort into me and making me the center of attention in this relationship, indulging me. And you're like, yeah, I'm not putting work and effort into a dream with you anymore because apparently we have a different idea, and Pisces energy is kind of about our ideas and imaginations of what we think a relationship should be like. And some people live in fantasy land. And their illusion and fantasy of a relationship is that they're the center of attention, that they shouldn't ever have to put any work and effort to grow and mature themselves. They just keep staying in mental conflict and they never deal with it. Or they keep taking action in pride and ego and selfishness and greed and self-centeredness. And they maybe think that's just fine. We all got our illusions about how we imagine life to be and how we imagine relationships to be. And some people, because they might have a position in the world, or maybe, again, they think they're good looking or they've got money, they could think, I don't have to put in work and effort to deal with any of those things. I have everything that the world says I'm supposed to have. I don't have to do the inner work. So, if you were very mature and intuitive and you aren't defensive and you're like loving and giving, yeah, it could have caused them mental conflict because why are you the real deal? They just present themselves as being that, but they're not. And then it can make them mad, kind of in the Five of Swords, cause them a lot of mental conflict that you are everything that they try to present themselves as being, but theirs is just an illusion. And it can cause them mental conflict that, why are you like that and I'm really like this? And it's like, well, you got to put in work and effort, You don't learn lessons in life by being egotistical and self-centered. You got to admit that you have some lessons to learn. And some people are like, no, that causes me mental conflict. I don't think I'm going to put in work and effort. I think instead, I might focus on someone either repeating patterns of my past acting like this, or maybe I'll go take action towards someone else who might have money and materialism or status and image, who right now might not be taking creative action in their own life to move forward. And they might think that that person just presents a good facade just like them. And maybe they think that person wouldn't take bold creative action in their life to learn and grow and heal themselves. And maybe that's the kind of person they want to go get in a relationship with. Because we all like to hang out with people who are like ourselves, right? and on the same page and view life the same. So while they wanted to go back and repeat a pattern of life and way of being because that's their comfort zone, you realized you couldn't stay in a relationship with this person anymore, and you quit putting in work and effort trying to change them. And instead, you changed yourself. You saw life from a higher perspective that, everybody's motivated and inspired by different things. They are the way they are. I'm the way I am. We see life differently. We have different dreams. We're motivated and inspired by different things. I'm going to move forward in my life. And you chose love to grow and mature yourself. So tell us about the sudden wealth card. Six of Swords. You moved away. The Six of Swords moves away from the Five of Swords. If you know people who are very competitive, very self-centered, want to win at all costs, I don't care who gets hurt, yeah, that caused you a lot of mental conflict and you decided to quit working with them. And you saw the truth. And when we see the truth, that's when we can move forward in our life. Because otherwise we're kind of an illusion, which is Pisces energy. We can be an illusion about people, that people will change, that people will grow up, that people will mature, quit being immature, blah, blah, blah. And we see the truth that, instead of waiting for them to change, which might be a pipe dream in fantasy land, I'm going to move forward taking action on my truth. And I guess if they're motivated and inspired by that, they'll move forward with me. And if they're not, and basically they've kind of been showing with their free will choices, not putting in work and effort. And sometimes it's just that we've got to see the truth. And the reason that card came out was the sun, which is the divine wants us to be illuminated to the truth, not to live in fantasy land, not to live in illusion. People show you every day what they're willing to put work and effort into and what they're not, what they value and what they don't value. Some people value love, and those are all the people in your life and all the people in the world who are moving forward with you at this time. They choose love. The other people weren't willing to do that. For one reason, it might be because to move forward in truth, for one, they'd have to speak their truth. And the Leo energy, they'd have to be more bold and brave and confident and let their more vulnerable, authentic nature out in the world. And they could be like, I hide my creative nature. I just present this illusion in the world. And I think that's good enough. And they don't want to let their more emotionally vulnerable nature out in the world. They maybe don't want to step outside of societal norms to bring needed change to the world. They want to conform to the society in the King of Pentacles. I want to do things that the world says I should do. If the world says I should want to win at all costs and it should be my way or the highway, then that's what I'm going to do. And, they're not very enlightened, because if you're not treating other people the way you'd like to be treated, and you're not being like just and fair, and you're being competitive and thinking you shouldn't have to put in any work and effort, that you should be indulged in a relationship, then they're very much clueless and in the dark. So, tell us about, what was this card again? Message of concern. As you're moving forward, you could no longer be communicating with them, is what that could mean. To each their own. If they free willingly didn't want to move forward in truth and love, well, they'll figure out life on their own. You'll figure out life on your own. The Virgo Hermit, the Two of Swords, because of the Page of Cups. I kind of look at the Page of Cups as saying, I wish you peace. I've went in to gain insight and understanding about why some people seem to be in two minds about love. Why people want to be in denial of the truth. I think all of us when we were children had dreams that we wanted. We would have never thought we would have given up on our dreams. We never thought we'd be bossy and controlling and selfish and greedy and prideful. I would like to hope. I would like to think when we were children we wanted to be in loving, supportive relationships. But somehow along the way, some people gave up on their dreams. We can get hurt in relationships. We can get disappointed. Well, what happens when that happens? Some people, it caused them mental conflict that maybe someone they wanted to be in a relationship wasn't willing to stand up for the relationship. And it caused them a lot of mental conflict. And instead of moving forward in their life and trying to see the truth that some people aren't ready to move forward, some people are kind of more materialistic, some people are more self-centered, some people could have taken it personally that it said something about their worth and value. What anybody free willingly chooses to do in their life just says something about what they value. It doesn't say anything about our worth and value. We don't control other people. They take action in their life based on things about themselves. We have people in the world who didn't harm a fly, and people are robbing them and assaulting them. We don't control other people. We shouldn't take responsibility for other people's actions. People have the free will to be loving and supportive and encouraging and stand up for friendships and family and relationships, or they don't. But I think some people, maybe they had the King of Pentacles can be a father figure, it could be a Capricorn, or someone who harnessed shadowy Capricorn energy. Maybe they saw other people in their past that didn't stand up for themselves in relationships. And so they think they shouldn't put in work and effort to stand up for themselves either. If it'll get us our dream to come into reality that might be more materialistically driven, then, maybe they want to follow in their footsteps and they think that's the way you should live your life. If they knew people that, again, it can be male or female, if some people played on their looks, if some people did whatever, and they never took creative, inspired action in their life or stood up for themselves in relationships, some people are like, hey, that's the way to do it. Anyway, and other people, I think, instead of loving and believing in themselves and seeing the truth that some people are selfish, some people are egotistical, some people are driven not by love, that's when you can move forward in truth and love. But some of the people have that lack mentality. There was someone I wanted to be in a relationship in the past. They didn't defend this relationship. I'm in mental conflict. And instead of doing that work of the Virgo hermit to go within and gain insight and wisdom and say, well, I could stay in mental conflict or I could believe in my dreams. If they don't want to be in a relationship and stand up for me, there's maybe other people that would be willing to move forward with me, be loving and giving and warm that I can move forward with. But some people get so stuck on it. Some people are very worldly driven in the sense that I need those type of people who might be kind of snobby and snooty and whatever. I need those people to validate my worth and value. If they don't value my worth and value, I feel left out in the cold. It's like, okay, if you want to keep focused on the people in your life that weren't kind and weren't loving and you think that means you're not valuable, well, if you think it makes you not valuable, then I guess it makes you not valuable. Our life is determined based on what we think about ourselves. Some people got really caught up in their head about it. Maybe there's some cool kid club they want to be part of, and they're not part of it, and they're really driven and motivated to be part of that. So, the high vibe people move forward in true abundance. I don't need to be part of the cool kid club. I don't need people. If there's people in my life who aren't willing to stand up for me and be nurturing and loving, hey, I'm going to go find the nurturing, loving people in the world. I'm not going to give up on my dreams because you're snooty or unloving. I'm going to go find the people in the world who are warm and giving, who've seen the truth that life's about more than image and status and money and materialism. And some of you could know someone who harnesses these energies in a shadowy way. In the shadowy Virgo and shadowy Libra energy, they hide that they don't want maybe people to know that maybe they're in two minds about, do I go with these people? Do I go with that people? You know, because that's what we have here in the middle is the Five of Swords, mental conflict. You could know some people right now that are just sitting there doing nothing. Some people are moving forward in their life, other people aren't. And they're still in two minds about, oh no, should I move forward with the loving, supportive, encouraging people in my life? Or should I try to still get the unloving people in my life to validate my worth and value? Well, they're sitting there pondering it. You're going to move forward and have new beginnings in your life. You know, people have to figure this out for themselves. You know, you could preach at someone all day long. You should know your worth and value. You should believe in yourself, blah, blah, blah. You know, until people embrace that within themselves and come to peace with the past where they can say, you know what? I want to be at peace within myself. I don't have to understand why some people do what they do. All I have to know is it loving? Because the sun card talks about, you know, like life giving energy. Are they warm? Are they giving? Are they, you know, this is people who harness, maybe they had to move away from people, yeah, who harness shadowy Leo energy and choose to harness high vibe Leo energy. I don't choose to be in my pride and ego about people in my past. I have my own dream. I don't have to live life like other people live their life. I can live my own life. If there's people in the world who left me out in the cold, I think if I'm a loving, giving, warm person, then I guess I think they lost out. But some people don't want those things because then they'd have to be truthful and honest and loving and giving, and people could get hurt doing that. And some people would rather do anything other than be vulnerable in the world. So we move forward with our own dreams, no longer concerned about people in the world who hide the fact that they're in maybe denial of the truth that life's about loving their own inner child and believing in their dreams. Some people are always looking maybe to people who remind them of their past. They're still looking for other people to invest in them and nurture them. Maybe they didn't get that growing up and they're kind of looking for someone who could be like a father figure or a parent figure and to validate their worth and value. And it's like, I think as long as you haven't validated your own worth and value, a life lesson is to learn to love yourself and believe in yourself, become your own best mother, father, coach, voice in your own head. People who are looking for other people to do that, I think, will keep being disappointed because the divine wants us to learn to love ourselves and value ourselves. Other people can try to throw us under the bus, kick us to the curb, leave us out in the cold. But if we love and believe in ourselves, we pick ourselves up and we say, what a bunch of shitheads. And we move on. You know, I saw the truth. You weren't very loving and kind. And we move forward. Why would we want people that act like that to think their opinion about you would even matter? They're icky people, you know? Tell us what the people that are detaching, who are moving forward in their life, what they maybe don't see coming in their future because they love and believe in themselves. Well, right away, I can tell you one thing I see here. As you're moving forward in your life, initially detaching from some people in your life, it did cause you mental conflict not to work with them anymore. But you realized if you want to have the loving, abundant relationships in your life, you had to love and believe in yourself, even if those people tried to make you feel left out in the cold and rejected. And sometimes that's what people in shadowy energy do. You know, we either empower ourselves and we're a loving, giving, encouraging person in the world because we don't need to build our ego off of diminishing other people. And we want to love people and encourage other people. But people who have shadowy energy, who don't love themselves, and are living more of a life of pretense and facade and all that stuff, a way for them to feel empowered is to do things to affect other people. And then by the impact they have on other people, it's like, I feel so powerful, you know. And so again, If you are a loving, nurturing, intuitive person and you don't operate from pride and ego, there could have been some people in your life who didn't like that. Caused them mental conflict. They haven't put in the work and effort to be where you're at, but instead of doing the work, they decided, I want to win at all costs. I want you to feel like you're not that great. And some of those people decided to move away from you to have a new beginning that seemed by worldly standards to seem like they had it all. And you were nothing. And you saw the truth. They were unloving, they were unkind, they're mean, they're cruel, they're... Ugh. And you were in an illusion about it. And you moved forward on your own. And they're probably sitting here, well, aren't you concerned? What are you doing now? Are you confused? Do you want to come back now and get in a relationship with me? And you're like, no. I'm not communicating with you because I'm listening to my intuition. I wish you peace because I think you have a lot of hard life lessons to learn, but I've seen the truth and I'm under no illusion about you. You are kind of a miserable person and I'm detaching from you to go live my life. And as you're moving forward in your life, there could be other people who might not be communicating with you right now that see that you've detached from this unhealthy relationship you're in. And they might not be communicating with you yet, but they could see you as someone they would like to communicate with, but they could be working through their own fears and insecurities, or they're really waiting to make sure you're completely detached from whatever that was before they make an offer to you. And then you, as you move forward, you'll be someone encouraging other people who might have went through similar experiences to you and encouraging them, with small gestures of love and encouragement. And you'll listen to your intuition, because if you know people also who might be in a similar circumstance like you were, you also know that they have to see the truth. Because if people haven't seen the truth, then they're still in the mental conflict stage, and they might not, initially when we leave a relationship, we too can be kind of putting on a good facade and being bold and brave, but still a little bit in our ego and our competitive nature, and maybe hiding that we're still kind of in two minds about investing in some of those people from our past. So, we all want to make sure that anybody that we're going to invest in who's coming up the pike per se is completely detached, and other people might be watching you that way too to make sure you're completely detached, and for now just being a friend and getting to know you. What the people in high vibe don't see coming, well, for one, is that the person in your past who was hoping to make you feel left out in the cold, if it was the person you had been in a relationship with, or the person who was competing for maybe someone you were in a relationship with, because they're kind of prideful and egotistical, and they don't like how it seemed like your dream was coming into reality, and they wanted your partner to move forward with them and leave you out in the cold. Those people could be really stressed now because they could have reunited with someone, but they're living life the way they've always lived it. The Six of Cups can talk about repeating patterns of the past, where it's more about ego and image and status and look how successful and victorious we are. Shadowy Cancer energy, where it's more like emotionally manipulating people to get what you want and to get them to work together with you and hoping they stay in a relationship with you because of image and status and money and materialism. Well, they're doing that, and they know they're living a life of illusion, probably based on their fear and insecurity. They see you actually working together with people in deep, meaningful relationships because you've gotten in the driver's seat of your life and you move forward in your life from a place of love. And then there could be some other people who could want to be in a relationship with you, but they're not communicating with you yet. Either because they know you, they could view you as being someone who's very loving and view you as very successfully, and they kind of got to work on their own, getting in the driver's seat of their own life to love and believe in themselves. Or they're just giving it a lot of thought. It could be for some of them, they also would have to detach from a foundation that might be a little bit more something they move forward with, but it is kind of more, there's nothing new to grow there because people have kind of maybe kind of gotten into the illusion of the world of the relationship, and they would maybe have to move away and detach from some people in their life they've been working with in order to make you an offer. Okay, let's go see. Let's get a fresh deck so all the cards can come out. Tell us about the people. Oh, and there too, some of you, you could have to move away from a relationship because someone could have had mental conflict, you or the other person, maybe both of you, had mental conflict of believing if this really was the right direction to go in your life. And maybe they would have felt like this wouldn't be the right relationship. Like they wouldn't be giving you being the loving, nurturing partner they should be to you. And you maybe would feel kind of out in the cold, or they would feel like, you know, it's just kind of having different dreams. And they might be high vibe also, a very loving, giving person, but maybe there's someone maybe in the past that they had moved away from, and they could have gotten in a relationship, you know, with you or someone else, and they're realizing that maybe someone in their past they didn't stand up for, or the other person at that time didn't stand up for. But now, as everybody's moving forward in life and everybody's grown and matured themselves and learned some lessons and repeated some patterns of relationship that they needed to heal from, maybe now everybody's kind of gotten in the driver's seat of their own life, and they could realize that maybe some of the relationships they're in they shouldn't be moving forward with. So there's always that possibility. Not everybody who leaves our life and doesn't move forward with us in a relationship is a shitty, crappy person. You know, and that's where we got to listen to our intuition about that. And that's why some people could be concerned. You know, I did work with that person in the past, but they could have moved away, and instead of moving forward with me, they could have gotten in a relationship with someone else. Well, the whole thing is, you know, maybe everybody had lessons to learn. And maybe, I don't know, maybe one person was a little farther on the path of enlightenment than the other person. The other person had to learn some lessons, you know? Anyway, but I want to differentiate that from the people in your life who were selfish, who were greedy, who were manipulative, who were prideful, who were egotistical, who are really stressed about working together with people and maybe disciplining themselves and tempering their ego and their fear. Those people probably are several pages and chapters behind you. They probably have a lot more lessons learned, and they're probably down here in some shadowy energy. So don't hold your breath for those people. But there's other people in the world that you maybe didn't even date. Some people you haven't even met yet. You know, those are the people that you could have these dynamics play out with. But as you're moving forward, offering peace to the past, listening to your intuition, you're giving a lot of thought to wanting to move forward from a foundation of love, because the Six of Cups is Scorpio energy, and high vibe Scorpio energy is about willing to explore the mysteries of life, people who are bold and brave and confident, to be vulnerable and open and loving. And then again, there could be some people that would like to be in a relationship with you as they see you moving forward, but they too could have been hiding their more emotionally vulnerable nature from the world for a period of time for some reason. even though they're maybe a just and fair and loyal and committed person, but they could be giving a lot of thought like, wow, am I willing to be vulnerable and love again? Okay, let's go down here to the shadowy people. Tell us about the thoughts card. Well, for one, they could have decided, that's a Aries Emperor card, making a decision. They could have decided, they could be very competitive in the world. The Five of Wands is Leo energy. And they have a lot of inner conflict about listening to their intuition and maybe being just and fair in relationships because the Two of Swords is Libra energy. That they'd rather just move forward with their worldly plan and making their life about becoming a King of Pentacles and maybe investing in other people who maybe have a lot of inner conflict about listening to their intuition. It's like, oh, do you not know your worth and value? Are you not sure if you deserve to be in a relationship based on love? Let's date. Be my friend. That'll be great. So, they're going to make an offer to, well, let's go see. What is the mature man about? There might be someone, the Emperor too, because this person is thinking about someone. And again, this can be a female. There could be a man looking at a female, or a man looking at another man, or a woman looking at another woman. It really doesn't matter. Someone is thinking about someone who they might think is maybe a counterpart to them, or that they might view as being more loving connected instead of in their ego, possibly, since it's a female and the females represent our emotional, intuitive nature. The Five of Wands can sometimes mean the competition. Someone could have decided that the competition is in denial of the truth of who they are. You might have been illuminated to the truth. If you were in a relationship with some shadowy people, they want to win at all costs. They don't care who gets hurt. You just didn't know that initially. They present themselves as being very stable and grounded and mature and nurturing and like a loving family person. And then you were illuminated to the truth that this person doesn't put in work and effort to see things from a higher perspective, that they're maybe all about themselves. And they want to be in relationships with people who don't realize that about them. And if the competition, someone else they could go make an offer to, doesn't know the truth about them, that that's how they are, well, then that person will invest in the illusion of who they are. Oh, do you think I'm stable and grounded and mature and nurturing? Perfect. Let's get in a relationship. So tell us about the mature person here that they're going to talk to. But that also could be somebody operating from pride and ego. We have the moon. Yes. When we're kind of operating out of our shadow nature, either making decisions out of fear, competitiveness, I want to beat you, I don't like that you're mature and grounded and more mature and grounded than I am, and I try to present myself like that, but I now realize mine is just an illusion and you're the real deal, and that makes me mad. Well, you're making decisions. Five of Wands, you're making decisions out of pride and ego. You're not seeing the truth. And out of your competitive nature, some of those people aren't seeing things clearly. And that's what the Pisces moon can be about. Some people could be going to make an offer to someone who they view as being a mature person, but the person they could be going towards is also just creating an illusion. Why? Because of the Magician. They're trying to maybe manipulate someone. This person, I think we attract people into our life to teach us lessons. If we've learned how to stand up for ourselves, to love ourselves, believe in ourselves, listen to our intuition, people who are trying to manipulate us and scam us, as we keep learning lessons in life, will probably be less likely to fool us. Because now we've learned to listen to our intuition. Because when we didn't listen to it before, we kind of got ourselves in a little bit of a mess. But some people who are operating more from their shadow nature of fear, insecurity, pride, ego, competitiveness, they might run headlong into someone who's going to manipulate them. And, they have lessons to learn in life. So let's go see about the message card here. The King of Swords. They might make an offer to someone who tells them, I feel like I've missed an emotional opportunity with you. And this person's like, yeehaw! Let me imprison you in my snare. But little do they know, they're the ones who are going to get imprisoned. Because they think they're going to go manipulate someone. If they're a pretty shadowy person, they probably do like to manipulate people and control people and, hope people buy into their illusion. But they've been caught in a trap with someone who's just like them. And they said, I want to work together with you. Tell us about the community card. Okay, tell us about the community card. Nine of Pentacles, Five of Swords, the Leo card of strength because of the Death card. Well, if they move forward in a relationship with someone, they could be looking at, up here we have the Five of Swords, they're looking back at a King of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles is like the minor arcana of the King of Pentacles. Like, I think one day you're going to have all this stability and security in the world. I want to take action towards you. I'm going to put an end to tempering my pride, my ego, and all that. Instead, if I'm in relationships with people who are loving and disciplined, I'm going to end that with them because I'm more emotionally shallow in my Scorpio energy. I don't want to explore the mysteries of life emotionally. I operate more from pride and ego. I'm kind of a more emotionally shallow person, and I really don't like to tap into my emotions. As far as I'm concerned, life is just about death, sex, taxes. So I'll go get in a relationship and have sex with you. I'll work together with you in a foundation. But what they don't know is that maybe the person they were making an offer to might be someone who presented the illusion that they're mature, but it's just an illusion in order to manipulate people. And then when the person goes to get in the relationship, it's just like, oh, wait a minute. Are you someone in shadowy Libra energy who lives more from your mind than your heart? Could be kind of emotionally detached, maybe be bossy and controlling. It's like, ew. I don't think, are you not going to offer me love? That's kind of what I came over here for. Was for you to think I'm all that and love me. And you're not. And then the other person, they might end up being single from working with that person. They have mental conflict about it because they'd like to maybe be in a relationship with that person. They also might not like that they're single because some people have mental conflict about being single because that maybe doesn't look like they're all that in the world. And they'd really kind of maybe like to be in a relationship with that person because they might have money and materialism and status and image, but they might have had to end it because the person they got in a relationship with is really kind of prideful and egotistical and maybe self-centered just like them. And just like them, they also created an illusion of being like a stable, grounded, mature person, but it was just an illusion to manipulate people into getting in a relationship with them. And then their true nature came out. It's like, oh, you're kind of just like me. And the divine is kind of like, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep repeating the same old pattern? Odds are the shadowy ones will, because they won't want to put an end to operating from pride and ego. They're still going to want to win at all costs. Right now, they might feel kind of trapped if the person they went to go get in a relationship, either that person ended it because they wanted to win at all costs and they operate from pride and ego. And some of them, it's like, I just created the illusion for you to come get in a relationship with me. And then when you did, you know, kind of boosted my ego and made me look like I was like the shining star. And oh, yeah, now I'm going to end it. Because that's the only reason why I wanted you to come get in a relationship with me. Because you did seem to have all that. And you maybe left some loving people behind. And I wanted to seem like I was like the loving people in the world, like I was on the same level as them. And now that you came and got in a relationship with me and let those people go, I'm going to end it. Oh, sorry. Do you feel trapped now? Because the loving people, you ditched them to come get in a relationship with me and now I ended it with you? Sucks for you. And then the other person could really be in their pride and ego. And again, if it seems like that person, they went to go get in a relationship with that person because that person maybe seems to have all those things of the world that they want, they're still imprisoned by their pride and their ego, and they could feel stuck and have a lot of mental conflict. And in their pride and ego, that the person they went to go get in a relationship with ended it, or the fact that they had to end it because that person was so prideful and egotistical, just like them. Well, are you going to put an end to being imprisoned? Are you going to get over yourself and quit being so self-centered and see the truth that, you had lessons to learn in life? Some people know. Some of those people, if that relationship didn't move forward, they're still in a lot of inner conflict about it. And some of them still haven't seen the truth. Some of them maybe don't see that they got manipulated by someone else who's just like them. They're going to keep moving forward, maybe just trying to find someone else, and they might keep repeating the pattern over and over. If they go find someone who is mature, initially, people can present a really good facade. If people seem to be like an emperor in the world, male or female, that's a very high position in the world, They're not just like a king of cups or a king of pentacles or a king of swords. They're an emperor. They really seem to maybe have it going on. Some people can get caught up in the illusion. They buy into it because they want to believe in it. They want to manifest with someone who seems to be really successful in life. An emperor would be someone who seems to be the full package. They've mastered the heart, the mind, like, oh, I'm not prideful, I'm not egotistical, I'm not selfish, I'm not self-centered. No. And if that's how they present themselves, some high vibe people could get caught up in the illusion too. And if they get another high vibe person, eventually the high vibe person sees the truth. Because they do listen to their intuition. And their intuition is telling them, this person doesn't offer love. They might offer all these things of the world. Well, am I going to stay imprisoned with them because of ego and image and status and money and materialism? Or do I want love? Am I willing to speak my truth? That this hasn't been all it's cracked up to be. And the high vibe people might decide to end it with them also. Even though it caused some mental conflict, because they would have liked, usually loving, committed, loyal people are really wanting relationships to work. They can be a little ding to their ego that, and they want to keep working on it. But there comes a point in time, I can't keep being in a relationship with someone who seems to be self-centered. For some people could present themselves as willing to move forward, like they're going to become a King of Pentacles, which is the only married suit of the deck. And some people are like, you keep wanting to stay single. You never move this forward. You seem to be defensive from us working together in a relationship to taking it maybe to that next level. You seem to be defensive about it. And some people are like, if you want to keep staying single, something in my intuition is telling me that I don't know. This isn't going anywhere in the death energy. You know, I need to stand up for myself. And it isn't about getting into a marriage, but why are you so defensive? Are you kind of indulging in a relationship? Are you kind of imprisoned by your fears, your insecurities? I want to move forward with people who aren't defensive. I want to move forward with people who aren't caught up in their head in fear and insecurity. I want people who love and trust and believe in other people, who believe in love, who believe in their dreams. And if you're not that person, then I may be going to have to move up here and love and believe in myself. And even though I could be stressed about moving away from you, and I might have worked with you for a long time, I have a dream. And it's causing me a lot of mental conflict to maybe stay in a relationship with someone who seems to be defensive to believing in that dream too. It causes them a lot of mental conflict. Or maybe you're not sure if I'm the person you want to move forward with. And maybe that's why you're kind of down here. Maybe there is someone else that you still have mental conflict about. And some people could have been moving forward in a relationship, and with the message card, some of them might communicate the truth. That there is someone from my past, and I kind of maybe didn't realize that I was kind of creating an illusion. You know, I was maybe hoping I could detach from that person. And the truth is, I can't. I feel like I've missed an emotional opportunity with them. And I think that's what has tipped this relationship kind of into maybe a little bit of a battle. And it's causing me a lot of mental conflict. And I want it to come to an end. And I have to speak my truth. That I can't keep moving forward in this relationship. But again, I think if people were in a loving relationship, I think they'd keep working on it. But if they feel like they're in a relationship where they have maybe been trying to move it forward in love, but the other person maybe thinks they're all that, and they don't ever put an end to maybe being self-centered or kind of being more prideful and egotistical, and that's not the type of relationship this person thought they were getting into, they could say, I can't stay in this with you. I have to listen to my intuition. I'm going to quit defending being your partner. I'm no longer going to put work into trying, because someone was in shadowy energy here in the bottom row. And both people could have been in some shadow, but for some, the storyline would be that some of the people have been working with people who are in shadow and they want them to move forward, and the other people just won't move forward. And eventually the people are like, I can't keep doing this. I would like to. But if you're enslaved and imprisoned by your ego or your fear or the world, I got to move forward. And I wish you peace. And I could be really stressed about detaching from you. But I deserve to get the justice I deserve in life. And that's to work with people who want to be in deep, meaningful relationships moving forward in love, not staying in a relationship out of fear, insecurity, pride, or ego, So tell us what some of the people in shadowy energy don't see coming. And sometimes, this is a big struggle within ourselves. We can feel this way, but we're not doing it because of our fears, our insecurities, our self-limiting beliefs, feeling trapped in something. Up here, it made me think that there could be some people that could feel left out in the cold from some loving people in their life. There would be some people they would like to reach out to that are moving forward in life, but they could be feeling imprisoned by people in their life, possibly in their family. Maybe those people are very image focused and kind of facade people, and they would have to be willing to stand up for themselves, and they're not. So it's like, well, you know, you either choose to stand up for your life and claim it, or you let other people kind of intimidate and control you and stop you from moving forward in life. And if those people say in shadowy Leo, shadowy Scorpio, oh no, you should focus on this person over here that has many of materialism, that would make you look like you're moving very forward, very successfully. And this person's like, yeah, but that person isn't very loving. It's like, oh well, honey, or boy, just create an illusion. That's what the rest of us do. Do you think we're in the relationships we want to be in? No. But there's more to life than love. Just go get in a relationship with that person. They're like, I think I'd feel like I was in prison the rest of my life. It's like, well, if you're not willing to stand up for yourself and you let other people manipulate and control you, why up to now have they been letting people maybe manipulate and control them? Because there's a part of it, maybe within themselves, that kind of agrees with that way of thinking. Especially if in the Six of Cups, that's the kind of people they grew up with. People who have this lack mentality. We get in relationships for status and image and make us look like we're moving forward successfully. We don't get in relationships because of love. You know? And for some, they'd have to see the truth about some people in their life and people they grew up with, and that could cause them a lot of mental conflict. To see the truth that they might know people in their life who didn't stand up for themselves, who maybe did get in relationships with people and move forward in more of a facade of a relationship. And for some people to maybe see that truth about people in their life that they love and respect and admire, you know, that they've been in denial of that all their life. They don't want to see the truth. I'm just going to keep doing what people in my past did. Move forward with people who have money and materialism and operate more from pride and ego and make it look like it's my dream come true. Well, you got free will. That's what you want to do. That's what some people want to do. What do the shadowy people not see coming in their life? And as you're moving forward, if you don't have somebody communicating with you right now, you haven't met those people, you could be a little bit up in your head if you're going to find people to work with that are emotionally stable, who are loving, who are balanced. But, you know, we all manifest our dreams into reality, and the divine is going to help manifest that into reality for you. So keep being focused on love and investing and working with the people in your life who are loving and balanced and leave the other, don't invest as much time. You know, we treat everybody kind of in the world with respect and kindness, but, you know, that's the page of Cups, like, oh, hi, how are you? You know, but we don't invest more. What the shadowy people don't see coming is that maybe the people that they keep investing in are going to make them feel backstabbed and betrayed because they might be investing in other people who are in shadowy energy and it's not based on love. And if that's how you're willing to live your life, then that's your free will choice. Other people are choosing to love and believe in themselves. They're wishing peace to the past, to let it go, and they're really focused on the future and moving forward. And the other people, they might create an illusion. They might get in a relationship because they don't want to do love. They could get hurt doing that. And that's like what their inner narcissist tells them. Some of them might put an end to any relationship and just be single because it causes them too much mental conflict because they do have so many issues that they need to deal with. And they might just decide, I'm not going to get in a relationship with anybody because it causes me too much mental confusion. I'm so imprisoned by so many things of my own mind. You know? You know, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you certainly can't. So much of our life is determined by what we choose to believe about ourselves and what we believe is possible, what we believe is true. And some of the shadowy people will stay in a relationship and they'll keep, you know, maybe they just can't get over it. I've got to make you love me. And the other person's like, that's great, pumpkin. You keep offering love to me, and I'll keep being bossy and controlling and cold and manipulative and competitive until you finally see the truth about me. And if you don't, that works for me. Let me manipulate you and control you and play on your lack of self-worth, because if you haven't learned that you should love yourself and believe in yourself and move your ass away from me, well, I'll keep playing on your fear and your insecurity, and I'll keep doing things to backstab and betray you. I think this relationship's great. How about you? So there you go, Pisces. I wish you all peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.